Here we have a copy of your chapter summary list, and here's a little bit of a summary that I wrote for you to take a look at. The most important thing that you need to remember, boys and girls, is that writing a super chapter summary is actually very easy. What you have to do is to explain what happened in the chapter, but you have to be short and sweet. If you think about it, you're writing a summary for many different chapters. The book is huge. There's many pages in the book, but the summaries can't be as long as the book that Judy Blume wrote. You're writing a summary for chapter 13, 14, 15, and 16, but you're putting all of that information on one sheet. It has to fit. So you have to only tell the main events in order from start to end. So you're going to start with chapter 13, move on to the hayride, the swimming test, and finally the farewell party. If it helps, you can make some notes on an extra piece of paper first. All right, you don't have to go right to the chapter summary sheet and just start writing. Think about it first. Remember, try and use interesting words. Let's read the one that I wrote. During the slumber party at Sheila's house, Mouse wanted to play a game that made everyone angry at each. I forgot the word other. So I see that. I'm going to make my correction now. Take away the period and I'll add other, and then I'll put my period to end the sentence. I'm noticing over here that the word each other is underlined in red. That means I forgot to leave a space. Let's go back and see if that makes sense. During the slumber party at Sheila's house, Mouse wanted to play a game that made everyone angry at each other. Notice I put a period at the end of the sentence. They all realized that no one could be absolutely perfect. Notice that I used a cool word over here. All right, I'm trying to be as interesting as possible. These two sentences are just about chapter 13. Were there more than two sentences in chapter 13? Yes. Could I go on and on and on? I could. I can talk about the toothpaste on the toilet seat, which was hilarious, but I'm leaving that out. I know everybody read the book, so it's not necessary to include all of the details unless I ask you to include all of the details. Just the main events from start to end, short and sweet. That's the deal. Let's move on to the next paragraph. Notice, boys and girls, that I'm separating the chapters into paragraphs. When I write, I continue to the end of the line, but when I begin a new paragraph, even though I have space over here, I jump to the next line. Do you see that? Good. So now we're going to be writing about the hayride. On the last day at camp, comma, everyone had to go on a hayride. Sheila stuck her head under the hay when it started thundering. That's all I'm going to write about the hayride. I know there were other things that happened. I know that Sheila was afraid that the headless horseman was going to find them, or that the horse was going to get scared of the thunder and start running off into the forest. I'm leaving that out, because if I'm just going to write about the hayride, in my mind, I'm going to remember about all of the other cool things that happened in that chapter. I'm going to go on to the next paragraph. See, I still have space. I have my period over here. I'm going to go to the next line, and I'm going to write about chapter 15, the swimming test. There were many things that happened during that swimming test, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Sheila was forced to take her swimming test with Marty. Mouse and Marty encouraged her to finish when she started getting too tired to finish. That's it. That's all I'm going to write about the swimming test. We all know that she passed. Okay? Notice the word encouraged. What does encourage mean to you? Am I encouraging you to write a super chapter summary? I certainly hope so. Chapter 16 was about the farewell party. All right, that was a sad chapter. We said goodbye to all of our friends that we met. Over here, all I'm going to write is the book ended with a wonderful farewell party in the backyard. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to talk about Jennifer. I'm not going to talk about Jennifer's friends. I'm not even going to mention who came to the party. We all know. We read it. So we're just going to leave it short and sweet. This is my chapter summary. I hope you liked it. What I'm going to ask you to do, boys and girls, is go back to your chapter summary for the chapters 11 or 10, 11, and 12. Okay, I want you to go back to that and I want you to read it. And I want you to see if you added just the right amount of details. Some of you, when you did it, you didn't actually tell me the events in those chapters from the start to end. Some of you just told me about what happened in one chapter. But you need to look at the bottom of the page over here on your sheet. Okay, your sheet that I'm asking you to review is actually this one. It's page 31, and it says what happened in chapters 10 to 12. All right, so what you would do is you would write chapter 10, you would give it a title to help you remember. You can go back to the YouTubes and you can look and see if you don't remember, or you could look at your notes. All right, you can look at your notes and you can see what the problems were in those chapters. You can read some of the questions to help you remember what happened, or you can listen to the YouTubes again. Another possibility would be for you to look at the book. I have a few copies of it in the classroom, so you can look at that tomorrow. But it's very important. I want you to write just enough details to tell me what happened in chapter 10, 11, and 12. That's it. See you tomorrow.